My name is Daniel McGibbon. I own and run the Bunker Rehearsal Studio in Bonnybridge.
So, can you tell us what you were doing before lockdown?
Um, well, it's just a normal rehearsal studio, I guess. My day to day was taking bookings. During the day when I don't have bands in, I'm cleaning, doing repairs, fixing a lot of broken equipment as it happens. Then at night I'm here. When I'm at work, I don't do a lot. It's more when the bands aren't in that I'm busy, and when they are here, I'm just making sure I don't get robbed or seeing if anything's broken down and I need to fix it.
So, what was the social life like before the lockdown?
Well, the hours I work here aren't great anyway for social life. I don't have staff or anything, and I'm working nights and weekends. Uh, Whenever I happen to get a night off, when I happen to have no bookings, which wasn't often, I'd just meet up with some friends and things like that. Pub on a Saturday, that sort of thing.
So, did you know anything about the COVID-19 before it actually struck in the UK?
I didn't know anything about it. I had heard of it. I remember before Christmas hearing things happening in China. I remember there was some sort of outbreak, but it wasn't big news at that point. So no, I didn't know anything.
So, what happened during lockdown? What changed?
Well, a little bit before lockdown, when that period where we didn't know if it was going to really be a lockdown, when they were still deciding, I started to see a lot of last minute cancellations and stuff like that, and no shows. People may be assuming I'm shut when I wasn't yet. Uh, when there was a real lockdown, I had to just close. There was nothing I could do. Even if people wanted in, I couldn't let them in, so I had to just close the business down for a few months. I emailed the council, Falkirk Council, who are my landlord, and I told them, like, I can't pay my rent because I'm not open at all, and they put me on a business gateway, and I got some advice from them and things.
So, what changed in your day to day then?
I just had an enormous amount of free time. I had absolutely nothing to do, really, and even having a lot of free time outside of lockdown, you could do a lot, but just stay at home all day every day. It's boring.
And how did you feel?
Uncertain. Until I got the information from my landlord, the council, I just really didn't know what would happen, if they would still demand I pay rent, or whether they would let me off with it, or I didn't know how everything would go down, really.
And how did your social connections change?
Not a huge deal since I didn't have many to begin with, but uh, just the little things I would do just didn't happen anymore. Friends come here to visit. I suppose part of even being at work here is part of a social life. There's people you kind of make friends with, talk to every week. You get used to the interaction, and then they're just gone.
So, what happened, or what is happening after the initial lockdown period?
Well, when I reopened, at the end of the first lockdown period, I had to seriously reduce the amount of people I could have in here. And when things seemed to be getting a little bit better, my problem was I couldn't fit enough people in. The demand was there. A lot of bands wanted to come in and rehearse, but I just couldn't pile them in one after the other. And now, as things are getting a little bit worse again, the issue's changed, where the people who wanted to come in, I wouldn't say don't want to come in, but can't.
Okay. So, how's that affected the overall work life? Is it just worse, or do you see a solution to this?
I'm not sure. The problem is the uncertainty. If we had a definite date when this was all sorted, then, you could plan accordingly. But I got certain amounts of support from the government and things which are beginning to run out. Uh, I don't see any more grants on the horizon, but they're talking about things like zero interest loans and stuff. But even then, I could take out one of these loans, everything could get back to normal eventually, and I pay off the loan no bother. but maybe everything won't get back to normal and this business closes and I have a loan to pay off. So it's hard to make a decision on what to do.
So how's your social life changed after this lockdown?
Everything's just that little bit weird, just because we've spent so much time considering like how close you're standing to someone, or I don't know, just handing people things. It's just all a little bit strange when you get back together with people. I also find different people sort of take the rules and restrictions different levels of seriously. You find the people who think it's all a hoax. Luckily, that's just a few people. And then you get the people who are still just won't interact with anyone. Everything just feels that little bit strange.
So, what are you hoping is going to happen in the future?
If these restrictions continue, I'm going to need more money from the government or for the landlord to be accommodating with rent. Rent is most of my expenses here. So if the lockdown stops me being open or only partially open and the landlord insists I pay full rent, then I'll just have to close. It can't go on like that. So I'm hoping one of those two things will happen. Either they'll extend the scheme to keep me open, or the council will be a bit understanding and lenient with me paying rent here.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'm not sure. My main thought right now is just the uncertainty. Like I said, I have no idea how things are going to go. Like I mentioned with taking out the loan, if I knew how things were going to be 6 months, a year down the line, then I probably wouldn't hesitate. But there's always that risk of how much money do you pump into keeping this place open, having no idea whether or not it's actually going to survive.